Final topic today. This is from Jordan Stocks, aka at Stocks, or sorry, at StockHawks21, one of my favorite Twitter accounts in the college basketball space. He tweeted this out, I believe, at the end of last week and said, "What non-star player in 2023 has the best chance to break out in 2024?" He put some images down in
Yep.
this tweet. I think we could go outside of the players that he included, but just to name some that he had on his list. Caleb Foster at Duke. He had Jaden Bradley at Arizona. He had Cam Heide at Purdue. He had Milan Momcilovic at Iowa State. Plenty of others, including one that you immediately identified verbally to me when I said we wanted to do this topic. So, who do you think
Yep.
is the most likely breakout star that was absolutely not a star last season?
Yeah, I think Jaden Bradley is a good pick, although I'm not as convinced that's going to happen with Caleb Love returning because I don't know if there's just enough shots to go around that will go around to non-Caleb Love players for that to happen. The first player that is pictured here is Jizzle James from Cincinnati. He comes in, he's sophomore season now, was a highly regarded high school prospect. People expect Cincinnati to take the next step, and the Big 12 is very, very tough, but they're looking like a preseason top 25 team. Borderline, some people have them in, some people have them don't. I do. It's Wes Miller's third season with the Bearcats. I think a lot of that hype is based on their young guy taking steps forward, and they need to start to do that. And Jizzle James has the best chance to become that star. He's going to have the opportunity to. I really like that a lot. I think he's one of my picks. The other one we talked about earlier in the show is Josh Hubbard at Mississippi State. He was a very, very good player last year, and those in SEC circles, I think, saw him as a budding star, particularly with the way he played down the stretch of the season. But he's somebody this year I think could become a more national star. I think there's a real chance he like strings together a couple 30-point games, a couple 25 plus point games, and get some legitimate national headlines. Like you're looking for a power conference player that could lead the country in scoring or be among the country's top scorers. Josh Hubbard to me is a guy who could do that, which would make him, I think, more of a national star than he is.
I like the Josh Hubbard poll. So of the 9 that Jordan Stocks originally tweeted, Cam Heide is the one I want to pick, but I think star is the term that keeps hanging me up because I think Heidi's going to go from like a non-factor 3 points a game guy to one of the best players in the Big Ten. I just don't think he's going to be the star on Purdue. Braden Smith's the star on Purdue. So to
Right.
me, like that sort of disqualifies him. We need somebody who can at least carry the star power, be like the star number 2 to the star number 1. And I don't know that Heidi's going to be asked to do that this year. Momcilovic is one I'd love to pick, but I kind of feel like he's already a star. He just wasn't used as a star. So
And I don't think his role is going to change. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, for sure. The one on this list I do land on, Emmanuel Sharp, I think is going to be Houston's best player. And
yeah.
that goes a little bit in line with how I felt about LJ Cryer. I've been underwhelmed with him for the last couple of years, and I think he's good. I don't think it's best for Houston if they need LJ Cryer to be their everything. Sharp had some huge games down the stretch of last season that I'm hopeful with Jamal Shed out, they're going to ask him to do more, keep LJ Cryer in a complimentary role, and I like that. The other thing, like when I try to define who's the like out of nowhere guy to a star, the name from last year that comes to mind for me is Marcus Damask, where it's a guy who like was a star at a lower level and then comes in and is a star at the next level. And you can do obviously you can do the same thing with Dalton Connect, although to
Yeah.
me Damask was more out of nowhere. Like I feel like Connect at least had a reputation of like, oh my God. When Damask committed to Illinois, I mean, I was slandering the commit, and even Illinois people weren't expecting like first team all conference. So the name that comes to mind for me for that this season is one I haven't heard many people talk about. It's Darlin Stone Dubar at Tennessee. I adored this kid's game last season. I mentioned I did the Field of 68 mid-major account stuff. He so frequently was like headlining huge games that like we would make a graphic specifically to point out this dude's killing and nobody can stop him. And everybody's in on Lanier at Tennessee. I am more curious with Tennessee. Lanier's got to beat out Zakai Ziegler and Meshack. Like those
Mhm.
guys are the backcourt right now. Dubar to me has a more obvious role. There's no other wing-shaped player that Tennessee really wants to play. Even consider Jordan Gainey an option that's going to have to Lanier prove himself over. I think there's a world where Lanier's in a smaller role than people expect, and Dubar is the featured option this year in Connect's shoes.
I like that pick. I like that pick. Similar kind of mold, JP Pegues, excuse me. Um, Furman transferred to Auburn,
Yep.
won a tournament game with Furman, was a star at Furman, a star in the SoCon. He's somebody who I think has the potential with his style of play and the way Auburn plays to come in and have like an maybe not first team, but an all conference kind of season because he's gonna be one of the featured guys in that backcourt.
Yep. I also want to give a little love to my rival quickly before we wrap. One of Jeremy Fears and Xavier Booker is going to be a star, and I don't know which one it is. I think there's a world where Booker busts more than there is a world where Fears isn't good. Now, Fears is coming off a gunshot injury that shut his whole season down last year, but the Fears family itself, I'm super high on. Jeremiah's tearing up Team USA stuff right now at the younger level.
Yep.
Jeremy Fears projects as a 4-year guy at Michigan State, but there's a reason Tom Izzo didn't even try to get AJ Hoggard back here. The same offseason he's losing Tyson Walker, Tom Izzo's like, no, I don't want the guy who has gotten me 6 assists a game for 3 straight seasons. That should be pretty obvious to everyone how he feels about Jeremy Fears. And Booker was a McDonald's All-American talent that just didn't get opportunity last year. With Malik Hall gone and the minimal ads Michigan State made in the front court, he has to get opportunity this year as a sophomore. So to me, if not both, one of them will be really, really good. I won't put my finger on which one I think it is, but I think we feel bad. We feel stupid at some point where like these guys averaged 3 a game last year. One of them is like an all Big Ten player that we should have seen coming.
For sure.
For sure. Fun topic. Okay.